Joe the Farmer here. Just wanted to apologize for the first part of this interview with Jimmy Akin. The audio is terrible, and I apologize. Tried to clear it up as much as I could, but just bear with us. It clears up. And again, thank you for watching.
Welcome back to Rome Boys. We're here at the
Midwest
Midwest
Family Conference. Midwest Catholic Family Conference.
I get that right every time.
Oh, here we go.
I get tongue-tied. I want to say West Texas.
That's what you're used to saying.
Yeah. We're here with Jimmy Akin, who has been gracious enough to sit down with us and visit a little bit about what he's been doing here. So you've been busy.
Well, fairly. Yesterday I gave a talk first thing in the morning on how we got fired. So and then yesterday afternoon I gave a talk on trusting hospitals. Then they had me do a speaker Q&A and other speakers. And this morning I'm giving a talk on just Q&A. So people can ask me whatever they want, as weird as they want. Yeah. I love your perspective on books. Yeah, when I think of a perspective that covers all angles and well-researched in so many different areas. So if we ask you a question, I remember one answer on the speaker's panel was like, I come from a variety of perspectives, so I appreciate it. So I wanted to ask you, so if you had the entire United States Catholic Church in one stadium, everybody's there, and you had just a big stadium, world good thing you're thinking, or at least a bigger places. What would you say, just a few minutes to share with them as far as the Catholic faith, advice, encouragement? What would you say, all the Catholics in America? I would need time to think about that, because first well, one of the things that comes to my mind is who am I talking to? I'm a big believer in asking questions, and there's a wide range of degrees of education. If I'm talking to active churchgoers, that's different than I'm talking to people who are just non-believers. If I'm talking to people who are just non-believers, I'm going to go to basics, and I'm going to talk to them about the basics of the Christian faith, and I'm going to talk to them briefly about the basics of life, and then I'm going to encourage them to learn more about it. So that would be basically the gospel, and why we're Catholic, and here's what you
kind of know your audience.
So then you got follow the way backwards. People that are anti-Catholic. What would you go on that way? There is no single, if they're included in that first group, then the message is if the question is, if I'm talking to a different group, is it going to fall away? There's no single reason you can fall away. There are multiple reasons you can fall away. And I'd have to think about which ones, which ones are the most common in America. One might assume that a significant number of them have some flavor of Protestant, but a lot of them have just quit and become some flavor of Nazism or atheist or what have you. And it's very difficult to try to craft a message. That's why I'm so big on asking questions. But if I had to speak for such a group, I would think about the relevant ratio of the likely reasons that they fall away and customize the message to that. So the Socratic method, by asking questions, we get deeper into what the real core of everything is. Or what would you call it, something different than that?
Well, it's a version of the Socratic method. I mean, Socrates did his method talking to people one-on-one, and you've got me up against crowds.
Yeah.
So
okay,
gotcha.
And with Catholic answers,
one-on-one anyway.
Oh,
Yeah, because Catholic Answers, you're one-on-one, so it seems to work. Yeah, that's awesome.
So I've got to ask, Jimmy's Mysterious World, how do you come up with your topics? Is this something that you're interested in, or you're just...
It's always something I'm interested in.
Right.
So for Jimmy Akin's Mysterious World, I keep a spreadsheet of ideas for future episodes.
Okay.
And currently there are over 2,000 lines in the spreadsheet.
Oh, wow.
The large majority of them are things that have just occurred to me. It would be good to cover this.
Yeah.
But a few of them have been suggested for the first time by listeners, and I'll put them on the spreadsheet. And I try to ensure a mix of different topics. So we'll rotate between true crime and historical mysteries and religious mysteries, biblical mysteries, UFO-related mysteries, psychic-related mysteries, and I try to have a notable shift in topics, basically every week, so that there's something for everybody. So if one kind of mystery isn't your thing, we're not going to get bogged down there. We're going to keep rotating through it.
Wow. So was there any specific topic that you covered that you were maybe surprised about the outcome? Like if it was confirmed or not confirmed, was there anyone that really stands out in your mind that was surprising?
Well, there have been a variety like that. One that was a natural mystery that I looked into. This was a true crime mystery. The Chicago Tylenol poisonings. From a number of years ago.
Okay.
The law enforcement had a particular suspect that they zeroed in on, and he is widely believed to be, he's passed on now, but he's widely believed to be the guy who did it. And he was a person of interest at the time, and they interviewed him repeatedly, and he even went to prison, not for the poisonings, but for something else. And he maintained his innocence. And when I started out, I hadn't researched the case in depth yet, and I was perfectly prepared to accept this as the guy who did it. And as we got further and further into the research, and I'm listening to the documentaries about this guy and stuff, I'm going, you don't have it. You've got evidence this is a weird guy. You don't have evidence he's the killer. And eventually I discovered an alternative explanation that says, and I think this is correct, because of the way the bottles of poison Tylenol that had cyanide in them were distributed, it looks like they were actually placed by what's known in the grocery industry as a rack jobber. A rack jobber is not a random member of the public who shows up and does stuff.
Right.
It's a person who goes into stores to restock the shelves. And so it looks like, knowingly or unknowingly, the supply chain had been corrupted from within, and then one or more rack jobbers distributed the bottles of poison Tylenol.
Wow.
Okay.
So that would be an example of a natural mystery. Also, I was very surprised when I started out. I began, the podcast. I began studying evidence for psychic phenomena, and I was very surprised to learn how good the evidence is.
Okay.
Really?
The Jessica Utz, the former head of the she's a statistics professor, and she's in fact the former head of the American Statistical Association. And based on samples of data that she reviewed, looking at it from a statistical point of view, she said this has been proved as well as anything else in science.
Okay.
Wow.
And so there's
neat.
more evidence for psychic phenomena than you typically hear about from the press.
Wow.
That's so
crazy.
cool.
That is so cool.
Was there any specific subject that you were excited to get, to really research in when you were excited? Like for me, comes to mind is Bigfoot, but was there anyone that you were ready to go dive into? And
Usually that's whatever I'm working on right now.
just what you're working on right now.
Yeah,
Okay, so
that's
you're
awesome.
just excited about any topic that you're working on. That's
If
great.
I wasn't excited about them, I wouldn't.
You probably wouldn't do it.
Why
yeah.
do it? It's
Yeah.
your time, which
exactly.
is precious.
Exactly. So
you
what's
have several books.
Yes.
And I know you're busy and the conference is getting busy here, but you
we
have
won't take
several
much
books.
more
But is there
time.
one, if someone has never read a Jimmy Akin book, to get them started, and hopefully they'll read the rest, but what's their...
Well, I would say if you're looking for a good, easy entry-level book, the Bible is a Catholic book. Is a
Right.
good one.
I've got it.
Sure.
It's great.
If you're looking for something that is, really information rich, I would suggest my book, A Daily Defense, which is
right.
a 365.
Got that too.
It's good
It's
stuff.
a 365-day book. Every day, every page of the book has a challenge to the faith, and then
Good.
what you can say in response. And
Yes.
since there's 365, or technically 366 days in there, you've got a whole wealth of different topics that are covered.
Great.
I add that leap year.
I did. I wanted to add leap year.
Yes, that's awesome. That's
great.
Awesome.
Well, Jimmy, yeah, it's getting busy around
We would
here.
love to talk to you for hours. But
Yeah, maybe we can hook up some other time.
yeah, let's do it.
You're welcome to have me on again.
That'd be awesome. Thank you so much.
We'll,
yeah.
we'll be in touch, and thanks for giving us an opportunity to sit down with
Yeah.
you.
My pleasure.
And hope you're enjoying the rest of your conference.
Thank you. Likewise.
Yes, yes. God bless you.
So in the meantime, be bold,
Be real.
be Catholic.
God bless.
God bless.